In the headlines of VTV News, restructuring the stock market brings hardship to stock companies. Sustainable financial support for patients with HIV. And later on, 1,000-euro Viking swords given to museum.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to VTV News at 3 p.m. local time. According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, power prices will increase by an average of 8.36% at the end of March. The retail electricity price readjusts from the current 7 US cents per kilowatt to 8 cents excluding value-added tax, according to Decision 24, which was issued by the Prime Minister. There was supposed to be an adjustment in 2018. However, prices were kept unchanged in order to stabilize the macroeconomy, despite the fact that increasing costs have greatly affected the power sector. Representatives from the Ministry of Industry and Trade said the power price adjustment would affect GDP and CPI. According to calculations by the Ministry and General Statistics Office, the hike would reduce GDP by 0.22% and increase CPI by 0.26% to 0.31%. Starting today, the Vietnam's Directorate for Roads will open an international bid to install the electronic toll booths for 33 BOT stations in Phase 2. Wednesday afternoon, the Ministry of Transport had a meeting to celebrate the speed of setting up electronic toll booths at over 60 BOT stations run by the ministry. There are 26 electronic toll booths on National Highway 1 and Ho Chi Minh Highway through the Central Highlands already in operation. 18 other booths are being built and guarantee completion in 2019. The Ministry of Transport is considering a proposal to hire equipment to reduce initial investment instead of purchasing them, while developing software to supervise fee collection, ensuring transparency. Nearly $389 million is the profit after tax of stock companies in 2018, 42% higher than 2017. However, the pressure of stock market transaction fees and opportunities from the plan to restructure the stock market approved by the Prime Minister will have an impact on the stock market of Vietnam.
Investors can trade stocks for free, but stock companies with financial safety index lower than 180% cannot directly manage money to buy stocks of investors. These new adjustments are creating pressure on profit of stock companies.
Our full package includes intermediaries, consultation and cross-selling. The new adjustments encourage us to improve the products and services to ensure affordable prices for investors. The competition is fiercer. We cannot request higher fees. Weak stock companies will have to withdraw from the game.
Stock companies can choose to merge, such as SHB Securities and Saigon Hanoi Securities Joint Stock Company. Cook Min Bank Financial Group bought 99.4% of capital of Maritime and changed its name to KBSV. The Nhất Stock Company was sold to Taiwanese Chinese stockholders and changed its name to Ranta Vietnam.
Some foreign investors are pouring a lot of money into Vietnam's stock market. There will be competition with local enterprises, and local players are still struggling to find capital.
Some stock companies such as Tân Việt, KB, and VP Bank have doubled or even increased their capital fivefold to stay competitive. 5 out of the top stock companies with the highest registered capital have foreign investment.
At the latest estimate, Vietnam were 0.7% of the emerging market index, then that would require just over $10 billion.
The Prime Minister recently approved the plan to restructure the stock market. which is expected to lengthen the time of stock trading, increase the number of products, and adjust borrowing and lending activities. Stock companies need more capital to thrive in the changing game.
Fintech or financial technology is a field that has great potential in Vietnam. However, there are currently already 67 fintech startups in Vietnam, a much smaller number compared to 490 startups in Singapore or 262 startups in Indonesia. However, the last 5 years have shown positive signs for fintech startups in Vietnam.
At the beginning of the year, a Singaporean fintech news website made an assessment of the most notable Vietnamese fintech startup in 2019. Tomo Chain, a startup that helps electronic contracts process more quickly at a low cost, was among those mentioned along with Momo and Mocha. The company received an investment of $8.5 million in 2018.
Fintech startups need to understand technology well so they can develop good products. They also need to have knowledge of finance. The community of Tomo Chain users abroad is 15 times larger than the one in Vietnam.
In 2018, Vietnamese fintech startups received a total investment of $117 million, mainly from abroad.
During the first 2 months of 2018, many foreign investors came to us and asked us to find their fintech partners in Vietnam.
So we already invest in 9 companies. So we look at e-wallet, the P2P lending and microfinancing, or the wire remittance companies.
With the development of fintech worldwide and with the support of the Vietnamese government, Vietnamese fintech is expected to be worth $1 billion in the future.
Fintech has become a trend in Asia. In South Korea, Toast has become $1 billion fintech startup. Momo of Vietnam also received $100 million of investment money. The State Bank and the government of Vietnam are showing a lot of support for fintech in terms of policies. I think that in just 1 year from now, preparations will be set for fintech companies to fully function and become more stable.
According to Solidians, Vietnam's fintech market will reach a value of $7.8 billion by 2020.
According to Vietnam Coffee Cocoa Association, the reduction in the price of coffee in 2018 caused the loss of $130 million. In this hard time, enterprises need to focus more on processed coffee products such as instant coffee and roasted coffee, as they have higher value.
For 10 years, Nestlé has been supporting farmers in growing new coffee varieties with double the productivity, guiding farmers with note-taking and help them save time and cost. Now over 21,000 coffee-growing households in Vietnam can meet the 4C International Coffee certification requirements.
1.2 million tons can be high quality. It's very difficult to fix the actual percentage as high quality. Nestlé buys between 20 to 25% of all coffee in Vietnam, and I would say all that we buy is high quality.
Competition is most obvious in the category of instant coffee, with an annual growth rate of about 10%. Vietnam instant coffee market in the past is dominated by Trung Nguyên, Nestlé and Vinacafe, but now there are newcomers with great potential such as Food Empire, Ajinomoto and Nutifood.
Famous brands help heighten the value of coffee very quickly. However, the brands themselves have to do much more to win the trust of consumers for the long term.
According to Vietnam Coffee Cocoa Association, thanks to the good productivity of processed coffee, coffee exports in 2019 can reach $3 billion. This will urge more investment in high-quality coffee in the local market.
This morning, the final round of Vietnam's Specialty Coffee Competition 2019 took place in the city of Buôn Ma Thuột. The competition served as the opening activities for the 7th Buôn Ma Thuột Coffee Festival from the 9th to the 16th of March. This year's competition included 31 finalists with 29 samples, including 19 samples of Robusta and 7 samples of Arabica coffee. Competition samples are judged based on 2 criteria: the quality of coffee beans and its taste. The panel of judges includes 6 international judges from Mexico, the U.S., Indonesia, Japan, and China. Specialty coffee only accounts for 2% of the world's total coffee production, yet it is 5 to 10 times the value of regular coffee per kilogram. Through the competition, quality products will receive international certification. As many as 20 Vietnamese firms are attending the International Food and Beverage Exhibition of FoodEx 2019 in the Japanese prefecture of Chiba. It runs from March the 5th to the 8th. The event is an opportunity for thousands of enterprises from 83 countries and territories to introduce their products to the Japanese market.
Hiro Nori, director of a Japanese enterprise that imports agro produce, is looking to see fresh Vietnamese lychee in the Japanese market this year. The target is about 10,000 tons of lychee. Currently, Japan only accepts frozen and processed lychee.
Vietnamese lychee is delicious and Japanese consumers prefer them. It's a pity that it has not been imported to Japan yet. I think Japanese women will definitely love this fruit.
Frozen items exported to Japan are mainly frozen fruits and vegetables. Vietnamese enterprises now have to compete with many other companies from numerous countries when it comes to price, quality, and appearance.
There's a lot of potential for the Vietnamese lychee to be exported to Japan. Apart from lychees, we can also export spinach, soybean, sweet corn, and sweet potatoes. We can increase the number of exports to Japan.
FoodEx 2019, the 4-day-long event, attracted nearly 5,000 enterprises and more than 72,000 visitors this year. Participating Vietnamese firms are expected to sign new deals, seek trade partners, and promote their products to Japan.
On Thursday afternoon, a signing ceremony to build a trading floor for pork between the Ho Chi Minh City Department of Industry and Trade and the British Consulate General will take place. The establishment of the pork trading floor will have realized the city's policy regarding industrial slaughtering, aimed towards applying 4.0 technology in pork traceability and commercial distribution. This will also help improve the management of food safety and protect customers' health and rights. Every day, Ho Chi Minh City trades an average of 10,000 pigs, up to $500 million per year. And now let's take a look at today's foreign exchange rates. Coming up, sustainable financial support for patients with HIV. And an ethnic Vietnamese woman teaches at a London university. In Ha Giang, hail and tornadoes occurred at night on March the 5th and early morning on March the 6th, injuring one, causing 5 houses to collapse, hundreds of homes to be unroofed, and affecting large areas of crops. In Vị Xuyên district, hail along with thunderstorms unroofed nearly 100 houses, broke 2 utility poles, and pounded 10 hectares of crops. Phang Su Phi district has never seen hail accompanied by a thunderstorm of such severe scale. The hail lasted over an hour with drops of 2 to 3 centimeters in diameters. In some areas of Vinh Quang commune, raindrops has diameters up to 10 centimeters. Local authorities are mobilizing forces to help residents overcome the consequences. According to weather forecasts, there will continue to be unexpected weather conditions, so residents need to stay alert when going outside during heavy rain and high winds to avoid possible dangers. And hundreds of workers in Ho Chi Minh City have been tricked into paying hundreds of millions of Vietnam dong to a fraudulent company promised they will get to work in South Korea. Nam Han company based in Ho Chi Minh City signed contracts with many workers and falsely promised them they would take care of their visas to go and find them work in South Korea within 5 years with desirable salaries. Accordingly, each person had to pay the company $8,700 US. When worker arrives at the airport, there were no visa or air tickets as promised, and the company could not be reached. After trying to reach out to the company to reclaim their money, the workers reported the company to the police. And this is not the first time such a fraudulent case has been detected in Vietnam.